happy Halloween, everybody. As you can see, we're in full costume. We brought out our regalia for the holiday itself. Me and Sean clearly went all out. Casey, he looks like he's going to creep in somebody's window and rape them. Good job.
I just stare. I don't rape.
Oh, you just stare?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's the fantasy.
Oh, you have a staring
Is this
fetish?
why he had his same costume on the
I like to
Gone
watch
episode?
The Lost episode.
The episode that rhymes with Kirby.
Yeah, that's the one. He had the same mask on. That's one. I guess it was probably year 2 masks in that last one. It's amazing to me that was a year ago.
Well,
but it was year 2's mask that maybe inspired that one idiot. Like, where are they covering their face? Like, what do they have to hide? I'm like, one, this is not our first episode by any stretch. 2, he has a Master Chief helmet on. How in the fuck is he trying to convince anybody that he's anybody else? It's like, I mean, that was so fucking stupid.
You're like, no, we got the real Master Chief on our podcast.
Yeah. I mean, it's some other guy that we address as Sean, and he replies while he has his Master Chief helmet on.
Well, as far as this one goes, you don't mess with a classic.
Yeah, the Devil's Advocate is perfect.
Yes.
But I mean, this year, being that last year went over so well, I would actually just like to talk about some funny shit, Halloween-based stories. I mean, we've all had them. Maybe even Sean has had them. I don't know, because he's never been that happy in your life, have you?
Never.
See? Okay,
he's a
maybe
miserable
Sean,
bastard.
Yeah. Although that's still my favorite fucking shirt he owns. Show everybody.
Y'all seen it. You've watched the old podcast episodes, right?
But the whole thing is, I can never get tired of that fucking shirt, because it's like nothing sums up your personality fucking better than that shirt.
That's probably why I'm still a virgin.
Like, Dolphin's a smiling sun and I'm dead inside. It's like, that's just perfect. But I mean, we've all had the Halloween prank, like shit like that. We used to do a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. Again, I'm speaking me and him. Yeah. We used to do a lot of stuff. Corn in cars, egg in houses.
Yeah, there's something about corn in a car that's hilarious, because they always stop because they think something's wrong with their car.
Like, that's it. It's such a dumb prank, but it's such a classic. And you know what? That's probably, I don't know if it's exclusive to this area, but I've never heard anybody else talk about corn in cars. And that is just where you take a handful of dried corn and throw it at a passing car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
there's makes nothing more to it than that.
It makes all the ping, 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 ping noises, and so people think that like they ran over something.
Like, did I just go through gravel?
Yeah, and so they think like, oh my god, and so they stop, and then they're like checking their car out, and then of course nothing's wrong with it, and then you laugh because
so probably the least harmful Halloween prank.
Probably, because it doesn't it doesn't like hurt your car or anything.
Yeah. It's 100% harmless. Let's be realistic. It's pretty fucking stupid.
It is.
Reality.
I mean, it is. Yeah.
But it's fun. It's harmless fun.
Yeah. I mean, we've all had fun with eggs. Like one time in particular, a gentleman that I used to go to school with, we went out one night for Halloween and we were we were egging.
Egging passing cars.
Well,
egging each other.
I'll be honest. I had not had a chance to throw eggs at a car yet, but this guy I was with, we'll call him Barry. We were laying down on a hillside, and the road's like right here. And he goes and he grabs an egg, and a car comes by. I'll never forget. It was a Ford F-150, and the guy had his window down, his arm out, and so he's like driving, and Barry goes, bombs away, and he throws it. And it goes straight through the guy's window and smacks him in the cheek. Like, just pow. And just... And so...
Did the egg even break?
Yeah, it broke all over him. And so, like, it landed in his lap and, like, everywhere. And so, we're both sitting there laughing, and Barry is looking at me. And we did not even pay attention to the fact the guy had pulled over and got out. And so, like, he was walking along the road. And, of course, he knew where it came from. And... all I saw was Barry looking at me laughing, and all of a sudden his hair gets yanked straight up, and the guy yanks him up and gets him in a headlock and starts pounding on the top of his head. And I was like, "Oh shit!" And so I took off running the opposite.
You're like, I left.
Well, yeah, I don't want to get hit, and
valor on your part.
Oh yeah, no. There was no honor amongst that. But anyway, he wiggled out of the guy's headlock, and he's like, "Run!" And so we took off, and we hit
way ahead of you.
But that guy was so pissed off. Like he marched up and down the road, and he went down because we ran down the hill and ended up hiding down in bushes near a creek, and we were just like, "Fuck!" And this guy, he fucking marched past us like 20 times. And we're like, "Shit!" And but yeah, it was just so funny watching that guy because he's kind of he kind of like a pot belly. Watching him punch the top of Barry's head, it was funny as hell, and never forget that. And
pain is funny,
huh?
Other people's pain is funny.
Oh yeah, I didn't get hit, so I didn't care.
It's like when we went to the haunted house at Moundsville.
Yeah,
it's like I recall y'all laughing heartily. Like the first time we went to Moundsville. Us for their yearly haunted house, and they do a great one up there.
They do, but I still don't understand the point of it because like Moundsville is supposed to be haunted.
Yeah.
Why don't you just put people in the cells, lock it, and walk away?
Yeah, that was the freakiest part. But I mean, basically, what it starts out is they walk you in like you're prisoners. You're in single file.
Yeah.
They line you up on the wall, and the warden screams at you.
Yeah, I mean, it is fun.
And actually, me and him, we were discussing while we were being screamed at. It's like these girls that were in the front of the line. They were talking while he was talking, and he screamed at him and said, "You're going to cell 114 or whatever it was." And all that did was spark mine and his curiosity. He's like, "Man, maybe we should have talked. We could have got sent to that cell. I want to see the special cell."
Yeah,
but this was the first time we went, and we got to ride caskets down the actual incinerator chute.
Mm-hmm. And then they incinerated you, right?
No, that would have been cooler than what happened. It actually was just an old lady in a tie-dyed shirt. She whipped the lid open and goes, "Rah!" All right. Yeah,
but the funniest part about that was obviously I'm not quite as svelte as that one.
Well, no, that we're talking about I'm going to get to that. That's the second year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about the first year when it was just me and you riding the caskets.
Yeah.
And it was fun, but it was completely uneventful because you're in a pitch black fucking casket going down this pitch black incinerator chute.
Yeah.
And this old woman catches you because you're not going that fast. And then she just like half-assed, "Rah!"
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, whatever.
She's a volunteer.
Yeah. She's
still should have fired her ass.
Yeah. It's like, at least put a mask on, bitch. I want a devil mask next time.
That one old lady who argued with me about the jar of pee, that was...
that was off-putting.
That was funny.
I wouldn't call it scary. But the fact that she was in the sugar shack, the scariest part of the Moundsville prison.
Yeah, it's supposed to be where the guy got skinned alive and all that, yeah.
Wouldn't the sugar shack itself, without the old lady, touting her piss jar.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
maybe that
scary?
Was the skinned guy's piss. You don't know.
Well, no.
Did you ask?
No, I was hammered, so and so the lady comes up, she's like, "You want some piss?" And I was like, "No, I'm sorry, I'm trying to quit."
I'm full.
It is good. It is good.
Look, I'm full. I'm a fan, but I'm full right now.
Yeah, I was like, I'm actually trying to quit. But it is good though.
Yeah, but the next year when we went back, they had changed the layout and they started. You don't ride the caskets down the incinerator chute anymore. They have these fucking tracks.
Yeah,
and you either start in the casket or you just walk around and everybody makes fun of you for not being brave enough to ride the casket. Well, in our case, it was me, the wife, him, and his girlfriend at the time.
Yeah.
We should have sent him or his girlfriend down at the time, tell him there was going to be a big one coming. We didn't fucking do that. We were like, Corey can go first.
Yeah.
There was a fella down there, I don't know, every bit of 5 feet tall, every bit of 107 pounds. Catching the caskets as they come. Well, I didn't have as much weight as I do now, but I still had a ton of fucking weight. I was 250 pounds at the time.
They had this little
fucker there. It's like, I'm gonna catch him. I shot down that fucking track because I have this extra gravity on my side, and I crashed into the wall so fucking hard. It's like, oh my God, to say it rattled my asshole. I thought I had grown a tail because the bottom of my spine was sticking out my asshole. I hit so hard. And then this little fucker opens up the lid and is like, oh, wow, they should have seen a smaller feller down there tell me there's a big one coming. Man, fuck you, get me out of here.
Imagine that. You almost die in a casket. Opens up, first thing that happens is like, wow, you're fucking fat.
That's it. It's like, I'm in pain, and now he insults me on top of it.
You're just a fat kid. Sorry about that, fatty. Here's some chocolate, fatso.
Like, wow, you fat fuck. Why didn't you send a small kid down here? Like,
why are you here and not at the McDonald's?
It's like, wow, this rationale of yours had crossed my mind, but somehow I still got duped into going first. Go figure. It's like, you fucking asshole.
I rode it and they caught me fine.
Well, yeah. You were less girthy then too, though.
I think I was like 120 pounds, maybe.
Yeah, he was only 15 pounds heavier than the guy catching, not 3 times his fucking size. So, I mean, that one's fucking, oh my God, everything hurt. I never thought like a car wreck where you're going feet first, laying flat on your back would hurt that much. But my God, it did. I was fucking like hobbling around the rest of the time. But anybody that ever goes to that one, I think it's a great show. I mean, everybody should do it. The fucking moving walls and all that bullshit.
Yeah. And
you don't realize they're doing it till you're driving away.
I'm still a fan. I don't know if it's still as good, but when we went to the same girlfriend at the time, we went to Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando. That was awesome.
Orlando
or Universal Studios.
Oh, okay.
Because they'd have people like positioned throughout the whole park. And if you wanted a drink, which I did because I had just turned 21, so of course I wanted a drink. Well, they had glow stick cups. Like it had the little where you crack the bottom of it, and then they shake it up, and it glowed in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the problem with that is they had actors all over the park who were specifically looking to scare the shit out of you, and they had hubcaps and shit. They'd run up and scrape along the ground to make sparks and just scare the shit out of you. And then when you had this fucking glowing cup, and now you're a goddamn you're a beacon.
They're like, that guy is getting hammered. I'm gonna scare the shit out of him.
Yes, and they do. And there's people that are dressed up like the scenery. Like there's one guy who's dressed up like rocks, and he's up against the wall, the rock wall.
Well, there's a word for that in there, like camouflage.
Well, yeah, but I hadn't. You get it. But then there were other people like dressed up like fucking Cenobites and guys on stilts and shit, and like blowing fire and all this stuff. Like, it was scary as shit. Like, and just all of a sudden you'd be like walking with your fucking drink like an asshole, and then bah! And you're like, fuck you, god damn it! And
I paid $12 for that.
Yeah. And
see, I can see getting jump scared, but I've been a kind of person that it's like haunted houses just don't do anything for me.
You walk around like all cynical. It's like,
well, no, not even cynical. I kind of walk around it like you'd walk around like a museum where you're like, oh, this looks really cool. This is, you guys put a lot of work into this. This looks good, but it's like I'm not scared at all because I'm like, they can't.
In all reality, I'm exactly that way too. Exactly.
Yeah,
I got scared, only once in a haunted house that I've been in, and that's just because we were going through, and they had like this what looked like a 7-year-old child in a morph suit or something, and they'd painted their face, and I was just walking around, enjoying the scenery, looking at all the hard work they put into it.
And then Father Miller butt fucked you.
No.
Well, no, that scared me.
That scared me.
All right, go ahead.
That's why he wears the costume. It's just his.
He's Father Miller.
But no, the kid wasn't even trying to jump scare me. Just straight up was walking by, and when we walked by, just like opened their eyes, so that it wasn't just them in blackface there, and just looked up, and I was just like, oh, there's a person here. Oh, I almost bumped into you.
Well,
Bad,
that's
small child.
That's a lot of the same what happened to me at Moundsville when I was talking about the walls moving.
Mm-hmm.
Is at one point they put you in what you feel like is a maze, and it is pitch black, no light at all. And they, of course, let's lead with the fatty. They put me first, and I know at one point I reached straight out and I felt somebody's arm. It's like, and I thought, well, who the fuck? I thought everybody's behind me, and I bring my hand back. And I go to reach out again, and I feel a wall. It's like,
yeah, they moved the shit around while.
But I didn't. That's what pisses me off. Is they were moving the walls, but I didn't realize this. But we had left the building. We were already 12 miles away, and I was like, those motherfuckers were moving the walls.
See,
it's like we weren't getting going through a maze. We were in there till they let us out.
And,
that's actually pretty cool.
That is it. Was great idea. I mean,
yeah, but see, that's why we lead with Fatty, because Fatty's like the rhinoceros. Just go.
But that's it. They
plow through.
They want me to fucking bulldoze through everything, which typically works. But the goddamn walls were moving.
It's like fucking the corn mazes.
Man, I can't. I don't want to go to them anymore.
Well, we went.
Corn mazes. It's like those aren't even really like a scary thing as much as that's just a fall thing to do.
Well, there was one that I went to a long time ago with a girlfriend, and they positioned people inside of it, and like the whole point was the people, like, you would go out like into an opening in the middle of like a corn maze, and you would just see somebody in the distance, like you'd see like their leg and stuff like passing through. It's supposed to be like spooky, like like people are stalking you in the corn maze and everything, which is fine, but I finally just got pissed off because some guy came out and screamed in my face, and I wanted to hit him. So I was
grabbed his face and you kissed him, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. It was hot as shit.
Father Miller.
I still think of that. But anyway, no, I just got pissed off, and I grabbed my girlfriend's wrist at the time, and I just put my elbows up and just started plowing through the corn. And then they asked me to leave.
Well, buddy, that's what I'm trying to do.
I'm trying to get out of here.
Well, I literally, from the main, like, they had this big open area, and they had people like coming out and screaming and jumping and all this stuff because it's dark. And so I just put my elbow out and just started blasting the corn stalks down. And some guy pulled off a pumpkin helmet, mask, whatever. He's like, no, you got to stop. And I was like, fuck you. And I went through, and they were like, oh, sir, you got to leave.
I did a high-pitched scream all the way
through. Because I literally punched a new path through the fucking corn. And I made sure to walk over the corn stalk, so I knocked them over. And so, like, from then on, you could see this clear fucking path.
See,
all the way through
if they
that's the kind of mentality, though, of, like, going to McDonald's, ordering a double quarter pounder, and being like, I can't believe they fucking gave me a double quarter pounder, man. Like, isn't that what you went there to do?
Well, no, mostly it just pissed me off because the dude came up and he got like right here, and he's in a Wolfman mask, and he just screamed at me.
Because Wolfman or wolf people hang out in corn mazes.
Yeah, you know about those people
as furries.
But,
you know what I would love though is like go to the corn maze, and they got the one retard who can't run out and jump at you without tripping over corn stalks.
Yeah.
Like every time he goes out, he just flats. Like, yeah, that'd be nice. But I mean, it's like all that shit aside, it's like, what happened to pranks? It's like we were talking about corning. It's a harmless prank. Eggs.
Baloney.
There's that one kind of knocking I can't remember.
I know it, but I don't think I should say it.
What it's called, but we'll just,
Ding Dong Ditch.
Yeah, is that what it is? Ding Dong Ditch?
I wouldn't say that's a Halloween thing. I'd say that's just a...
Well,
yeah, but we've done a lot of Halloween.
Well, yeah, because it's hard to do it on Halloween because people are trick-or-treating.
Trick-or-treating, yeah.
They're waiting for you to knock.
But they're waiting right by the door.
But I tell you one good one, and if anybody doesn't know, I don't know if it still works, but it used to, is if you throw bologna on somebody's car and it sits there for a long time, like their paint will literally bubble up off of it, and when you peeled the bologna off, the paint would come with it. And so, and again, I don't know if it still works. Probably not. Don't do it, kids. It ruins people's cars. And I never did. That's just what I heard. But anyway, you take bologna and you take cookie cutters and you cut them into fun Halloween shapes, and then you like throw it. So then when they peel them off the next morning, it's got to sit there a long time. Like you can't.
Like, oh, you got a pumpkin on your car now.
there's a nice little pumpkin right there, and then obviously like shaving cream, soaps, soap in windows and shit.
Well, I mean, like pranking as a whole to me is a lost art because we used to do it and it wasn't Halloween. It would just be for the fuck of it. Like I remember, and it even something as simple as a trip to Wendy's, you could do it. Like when I was driving you, and I'm talking about at the Wendy's drive-through, I would be ordering, and he'd just start mumbling off and like,
I want fries.
And then while we're still in the speaker, I'd be, shut the fuck up. And then when we got to the window, she'd be handing us our food, and he took it like a champ. She'd be handing us our food, and he'd start talking like Disneyland, and I just walk over and just punch him. Like you reach over and punch him right in the face, like "Shut up, retard!" And she was like,
they didn't really know how to handle that.
And then afterwards, if they didn't get my order right, somebody was going to fucking pay for it. I don't care where they worked.
That was one of the best ones I've ever seen. Was he had one of those fucking triple fucking
Dave's classic triple. Son of a bitch is that big because this is early 2000s,
and it was
when they actually still gave you big burgers.
It was dripping with ketchup, mayo, mustard, fucking everything, just dripped with the shit. And he opens it up, and he's like, God damn it! I said no onions. And he puts his window down, and right as soon as he throws it out, this Jeep Grand Cherokee's coming the opposite way, and it hits right in the middle of his windshield and just fucking explodes.
Somebody's gonna fucking pay.
and that car, we looked in the rearview mirror, and that car starts swerving. I don't know what the fuck they thought they hit, but but it fucking just exploded everywhere. It was hilarious.
Like, goddamn!
And he wasn't aiming for it or anything.
About half aiming.
It just so happened, like Susie tossed it out, it went boom, and it hit just perfectly right in the dead center of their windshield.
That wasn't a prank, but that was mischievous on my part. And then there was the times where we would actually pull pranks with our Disney or our Wendy's leftovers in that one house right by the road. Nobody liked them anyway. We'd just drive by, and if I had any leftovers, the whole fucking bag of shit went all over the front of their house. Like, it was just it was fun stuff, and it was dick moves, and hell, that was actually the house that everybody, didn't matter what time of year, they were getting shit.
See, my favorite prank was we used to go to this Halloween party, and we would whenever somebody would pass out, we would take zip ties and shit. This is where I ended up with my leather straps when I worked at the hospital. But we'd be at the party, and he had a chair that had armrests, and so you'd zip tie somebody's legs to the legs and then the arms, and then we had a pink bicycle helmet, and you put it on them and then zip tie them to it. So when they would wake up, they'd be like, and they can't move. and the chair was easy. The chair, it came apart real easy. So they would be like, fighting, and then it would just collapse.
Well, there was those same parties. Recall one time the prank was, we'll say, a fictitious drinking contest where we have, apparently he's a distant cousin. And I never liked the motherfucker. I never made a secret of how much I disliked him. But he liked to brag about how much he could fucking drink. Yeah. So we were like, I'm going to, not only are we going to test how much he can drink, I think the phrase, let's try and kill him, might have been, might have been tossed up there.
And that was the night I bought that fighting cock.
Was that a Halloween? I don't know if I don't remember if it was Halloween or not. It seems like it was around that time because it was fall.
Yeah.
And it was colder.
I know
But-
he ended up.
Boy, I've never
like-
seen anybody puke that much.
And the host of that party ended up the trash can that this guy puked in. He ended up tying the bag to his neck and pushing him out the front door.
And this is after I threw his shoes in the river.
That sounds like a party.
He had. Well, that's it. He was so. He loved to brag so much about how much he could drink that he was one of those douchebags that wore. Didn't matter what it was. It's like if he found he had, I believe these were Guinness sandals. Like, oh yeah, I drink so much, I wear beer labels on my shoes. So I threw them in the fucking river. It's like, bye. So I guess he woke up the next morning with a fucking trash bag full of his own puke around his neck and wondering where the fuck his sandals went.
And
He was like, "Wow, that was a great party."
it probably was because we played Captain Asshole that night, or Captain Dickhead, excuse me.
Captain Dickhead or asshole.
Yeah, it's basically like you throw cards
it's
out.
a drinking game. You would know nothing about
I wouldn't
it,
know
so-
anything about that.
Yeah, he wouldn't. He wouldn't even have a.
You pick
frame
up
of
a
reference.
card and you do what's like a regular, cards with spades, diamonds, all that. And you pick up, and depending on the color and the number of the card, like you either give drinks or you take.
But then it
them.
downgraded into he he was supposed to go shot for shot with the wife. She was like, "Fuck you, I'll drink more than you," and she was taking shots of water,
Yeah.
and he was taking shots of rot gut fucking whiskey.
Either that or we had Bacardi 151.
Well, we also you remember what got him though was when we did that. It was straight syrup.
Yeah.
And it was so thick that he couldn't swallow it, and man, he just projectile vomited.
Yeah.
It's like, yep,
Puked quite a lot.
yeah, he did, not enough because he lived through it. But yeah, I mean that's the kind of shit we used to do, and now it's just these kids don't know nothing about it, and that's a damn shame. Do you have any funny stories you can share?
No, we didn't.
We're running out of time.
We didn't do funny stuff.
He
on
went.
Halloween.
He went to church. Got malts.
No, we went to.
You know what? He had.
We went to what we would do. We didn't even go trick or treating. What we did is on Halloween we would go out to a steakhouse.
Hello, dork. Hey, what's happening, dork? Hey, dork. Hey, dork.
So
You know what though?
we
He
ate
does
Ryan's when it still existed around here.
But he does have a story that made me laugh my ass off because it's so sad but so hilarious at the same time. And that was about the spinning. You remember when I was getting...
I don't. I was actually sitting here like, oh man, I hope he doesn't have me tell it because I don't know which one you're talking about.
I got a guy at work to do this spinning stunt over and over again, and he kept fucking it up. Sean got up there and started just spinning like a fucking champ and just never had any issues with it at all. And he told us why, and that was because when he was a kid at church, and your parents would be out there talking, and you'd just be in the coat room spinning.
Oh yeah.
It's like, and I can just picture little Sean in there just fucking spinning away. And it makes me laugh every time.
You'll have to tell me afterwards who the person we were getting with it was after, it's because
Yeah,
I'm not talking about work here, but
yeah, I'll tell you afterwards.
Man,
But hell, we're out of time anyway, aren't we?
yeah, but with this makes me feel like a fucking delinquent.
What?
All these goddamn stories of fucking
It's
people.
always-
Oh yeah,
like
so
he
do
was-
I. But
it's almost like he was a delinquent.
yeah.
Sort of.
All right. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, follow us on Facebook, Truth Social. If you have any hilarious stories, feel free to share them in the comments. We'd love to hear from you, and we will see y'all later.